Welcome, grammar students. Welcome to Lesson 10, Have, Has, and Had. In this lesson, we'll look at have, has, and had as X words and as main verbs. Meet Harry. Harry is confused. He is confused about the words have, has, and had. We're going to help Harry out. Harry knows that have is a verb, but he remembers that have is an X word too. He's right. Have can be a main verb or an X word. Let's look at have as a main verb first. Remember that in English we start with a subject and a verb phrase. The verb phrase is made up of an X word, a main verb, and sometimes a middle word. Right now we're looking at have as a main verb. As a main verb, have has three meanings. Have means to own or possess something. I have a computer. Do you? The second meaning is to eat or drink something. I had a cup of coffee and a donut for breakfast. What did you have? The third meaning is to experience something. I had a great time at the party last night, but now I have a headache. Of course, when have, has, or had are main verbs, they need help from an X word to make questions and negatives. For example, in Harry has a computer, has is a VXS, so the negative is Harry does not have a computer. And Harry is having a good time at the party becomes Harry is not having a good time at the party. We've seen that have is a main verb, but have, has, and had can also be used as X words. Let's review the X words now. Have, has, had, do, does, did, am, is, are, was, were, can, could, shall, should, will, would, also, must, might, may. Hey! In Lesson 3, we learned that as X words, have, has, and had always appear with the DTN. Remember that DTN is one of the 6 forms of the verb. Often, the DTN of a verb is the same as its past tense, like it is with worked and left. We call this form DTN because it ends in a D, a T, or an N. Traditional grammar calls the DTN form the past participle. So we know that the have group can be X words and that they match with DTN, but what does the have group do? Do you remember that one of the 5 uses of X words is to show time? Well, that's what have, has, and had do. They tell us that something happened before now. The exact time isn't important. The fact that something is finished is important. For example, I have finished my paper means I wrote it before now. Harry is very happy because his writing assignment is done. It's like he's standing on now and looking back. It is now 12:30. In this case, I have eaten lunch means Harry finished his lunch at some time before 12:30. In traditional grammar, this is called the present perfect. Perfect in grammar means finished. Exactly when lunch was finished is not important. What's important is that Harry isn't hungry. Have works at 2 different jobs. It can be an X word, and it can be a main verb. So sometimes it's used both ways in one sentence. As usual, the have X word group matches with a DTN, and the DTN of the verb have is had. Hi, Harry. Have you had lunch yet? No, I haven't. Why don't you join us? Sounds good. Have is used as the X word and the main verb. Just remember that here, had as a main verb means to eat or drink, and as an X word it means before now. Harry is hungry, so he's going to join his friends for lunch. In review, have can be used as an X word or a main verb. As a verb, have has three main meanings: to own or possess something, to eat or drink something, or to experience something. If have is a VXO, VXS, or VXD, use the hidden X words do, does, and did. Harry has a computer. To make a yes-no question, does comes out of hiding and leaves the base form. Does Harry have a computer? If have or has are used as X words, they talk about a time in the period before and up to now. Harry hasn't eaten lunch yet. It's 3 p.m. Harry hasn't eaten since breakfast. Harry is hungry. What should you do next? Read Lesson 10, do the exercises, and look and listen for different uses of have.